My name is Alexia Shepherd, and get ready because you're about to chat with Alexia. We have got to talk about this. Welcome to Chatting with Alexia. This is the series where I do my makeup and you and I talk about anything and everything. And I kid you not, I usually film this in the mornings and it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I was racking my brain about anything else to talk about. I didn't want to do this because I just felt like my last Chatting with Alexia was already like sad, you know what I mean? I just couldn't think of anything else because it's like all that's been on my mind. So today we're going to talk about Naya Rivera. If you don't know Naya Rivera, she's an actress. She was on Glee for all 6 seasons. That's like what she's most known for. But she's been acting since she was really young, and she was a very talented singer. She also dated Big Sean. They were engaged for a minute there, and you know, she's overall been like a big inspiration in my life. Nothing else was on my mind today because of what's happened to her. But before we get into it, I just want to remind you that you can find me on Instagram at Alexia Shep, on Twitter at Alexia Shep, and on TikTok at Alexia Shep, because who doesn't love TikTok? Alright guys, so let's get into it. When I say that this was like the last thing that I thought I would talk about, I mean it, because for one, we had already had our little dose of Glee drama, and also I promise you this isn't a Glee channel. It's just things keep happening surrounding the cast of Glee, and so I'm like forced to like talk about it, like, you know what I mean? It's extremely unfortunate. And I mentioned in my aesthetics video that the character that had the most influence on me and my style was Santana Lopez, which happens to be the character that Naya Rivera played. If you're not familiar with what's been happening with Naya Rivera, she went out on the lake on July 8th with her son Josie, who, may I just say, is the cutest little boy I've ever seen. I love it when little boys have long hair. I think it is so cute. Like Courtney's son Rain, his long hair, I think it is so cute. I also love when like grown men have long hair. I think long hair on boys is really, really cute. But he is the cutest little boy. He's 4 years old, and they rented out a boat on Lake Piru in Southern California. And 3 hours after the rental boat was supposed to be returned, you know, the staff went out to see, you know, hey, where's she at? Like, she still has this boat. They found the boat, and they found her son sleeping on the boat alone in his life jacket. And there was an adult size life jacket on the boat, and Naya was nowhere to be found on the boat. So she was presumed dead. They think she drowned. And honestly, okay, there's been a lot of speculation around this story. For one, apparently they asked Josie, like, what happened to your mommy? And he said, we went to go swim and my mom jumped in the water, and when I, you know, turned around, she never came up. And they found her car was still in the driveway with her wallet and stuff. And like, there's just like, I mean, a lot of things don't make sense in the story, and there's been a lot of like speculation on what happened. The sheriff's department seems to think that she drowned, and a lot of people were like, what if she was kidnapped? Like, you know, what if they just had like, because they're saying that Josie's statement seems pretty advanced for a 4-year-old, and they're like, you know, maybe he was coached to say that, and like, why would her life jacket be back there, and yada yada yada, you know, they were just things like that. And at first I was like, okay, like there could be some foul play, but then I looked a little more into it because, y'all, I loved Naya Rivera. Like, I love her. Like, and I don't know whether to say love or loved, because like to this hour she's still not found. Like, maybe by the time this goes up she will have been found, like, and no matter in what state. Like, we don't even know where her body is at. So whenever there's no body, you can't say like death. You know what I mean? Like, you can always like assume, you know, like, hey, this is what we assume, but until there's a body in front of us, you know, who's to say like what happened? But you know, I have a 3-year-old niece. My niece Harley, she lives here with me. You've probably heard her crying in the background in these videos sometimes, and she can form. I could see Harley saying, like, not in so many words, but you know, we went swimming and she jumped in and she didn't get out. I could see my niece saying that. At first I was like, you're right, that is kind of advanced, but kids are smarter than you think. You know what I mean? Like at that age, especially at 4, you know, especially if he's around people he knows. I don't know how other kids are, but the way my niece is if she's not around like somebody she knows, she does clam up and gets really shy. And so people often think, oh, she can't speak as much as she can because she just gets shy and shouldn't say anything. But I could for sure see, you know, a 4-year-old being like, yeah, my mom jumped in, I look back and she didn't get out. Another thing I read is that apparently lake drownings, they're not like a pool drown. Like if you were to drown in like a pool or something, like you know how if you drown in a pool you're like splashing around and it's like, or like in the ocean you're like splashing around and it's a lot. Apparently in a lake it's quiet because something could be like dragging you down, and by the time that you go to like open your mouth, you're like, ah, you're already underwater. So like, you know, nobody can hear you, and if something's pulling you down, by the time you're like waving around, you're under the water. And apparently the lake she went to is notorious for drownings, which, okay, and I'll be honest, I don't know how like lakes work. Like I've never like been out on a lake, you know what I mean? Like I've never taken like a boat trip out on a lake, so I don't know how like the lake system like consumer wise works, like lakes that people like rent boats on. But if you have a lake that is notorious for drownings, wouldn't you be like, okay, like let's not have anybody swim? But I don't know if you can have a public lake and tell people not to swim in it, but I assume you can. I assume it's like anything else. It's like when that kid at Disney World got bit by the alligator in the lake. Was there a no swimming sign? I don't remember if there was a swimming sign or not. But like, was there a no swimming sign? Like, I just feel like if you've had, I remember reading somewhere, which in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, please. I remember reading somewhere that there were 9 drownings at that lake. 9. That's like a lot. Like 1 is too many for me. Like, but it is water. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know the line to cross where it's like swim at your own risk, or hey, like, or even they said in the press conference, they were like, oh, the conditions weren't ideal for swimming. So why don't you say, hey, like, you know, enjoy the lake, enjoy the boat, but don't get in the water today. Like, I mean, I don't know how it works. I don't know. The explanation that I'm leaning towards is that she did drown. I think she, which is just like so sad. Like guys, you know how you really like a celebrity and you're like devastated? Like that's how I am right now. Like it's like a little bit embarrassing because I'm just like, I really liked her. Like I really, really, really liked Naya Rivera. Like I remember thinking, first of all, how gorgeous she was. Like she is so pretty, and she is so, like, from what I've heard of her in like interviews and stuff, she is so snarky, and I just love that. I love blunt people because me myself, I've never been like comfortable enough to be a blunt person like I wanted to be. Like, I don't know if I've talked about it, but I feel like my parents kind of, not my parents, my mom kind of got that out of me at a young age, which sometimes I resent. Like, I'm like, why can't I just be the blunt child I used to be? Like, as a child, I was super blunt. But, like, aren't we all? You know what I mean? She just seemed to always speak her mind, you know what I'm saying? And she just always, like, she's, like, I don't know. I just, there was something in her that I was like, I relate to this. Like, I really like her. You know how, like, when you like a celebrity, I don't know if you guys are like this, but when I like a celebrity, I like to, like, do research on them, look into them. Like, when I'm obsessed with something, I'm obsessed. Obviously, I was a Glee stan, and it's like with, like, let's say you're a stan of BTS. You probably know everything about every member of that band. That's how I was with Glee. I did a lot of research into everybody in that cast. I watched Naya's old clips from when she was on The Royal Family with Red Fox, and I actually, y'all, okay, the night that I heard about this, I immediately ordered Naya's book off of Amazon. And y'all, when I tell you that book is juicy, I'm not done with it yet. I'm like literally 3/4 done. That book is so juice, like that juice, oh my god. It sucks too because I'm a fan of Ariana Grande, and she talks about how one day her and Big Sean were in a fight and he was like, I don't want to see you, and she was like, well, I have a key to your house, so so what are you gonna do? She walks in the house, and when she got to the music studio, Ariana Grande was on the couch, like cross-legged, just listening to music. I was gagged. I was like, oh oh, it's like that. Like I was gagged. I was really gagged. I love Ariana Grande. Like I love her. And I so badly want to hear Ariana's side of that story, like so bad. Like this is when I wish, like, I love reality TV because I'm just a nosy person. Like, I'll be honest, I'm very nosy and I like reading about people's lives, which is another reason why I love biographies so much. I love hearing the stories of other people. And so when I heard that, I was like, oh wow, Ari, come on now, come on. But I mean, it could have been innocent. It could have been innocent. But like, if I was Naya, I would have been livid. Like, Ari, I just snatched that ponytail off you. I'm sorry, but that's just the girl that I am. But I don't know, I have trust issues. I digress. But yeah, I read her book and it's really sad reading it back too, because in one part she's literally like, I plan to live a really long time, and I'm like, oh my god. Because I'll be honest with you guys, like I really want to be proved wrong. I really want to be proved wrong. I don't think we're gonna find her alive at this point. I don't think we're gonna find her alive. I so want to be able to come back on here and be like, I was completely wrong. I want that to happen. But looking at it, like, I don't think we're gonna find her alive. It just sucks. It sucks. It really sucks. I really, really, really like her. Like, she was honestly like such an inspiration to me, guys. Like, I'm not even kidding. And this isn't one of those things where, you know how people will say that about somebody that just died to kind of feel like a piece of the pie. You know what I mean? That I can't stand that. I don't know. I don't like to be like that person that's like, oh, somebody died. Oh, I listened to them one time, so obviously, like, I'm a fan. Like, no, I loved her. I really did. She was like my favorite on Glee for sure. I don't know if I've mentioned this on here, but I take Halloween really seriously. I love Halloween. I've actually been racking my brain about what costumes I want to do this year because of like the pandemic and stuff, and like I don't know how Halloween's gonna work this year, if I'm gonna be able to do any group costumes, if I'm just gonna need to just do a costume for myself in here, if I'm able to have like a small gathering, you know what I'm saying? But I take my costumes real serious, and I don't like buying like out of the box costumes. I like to like get pieces and put it together myself, and maybe have to buy like a costume element. But I got that from Naya Rivera. That's who I got that from, because I remember in like 2011, she went to the Glee costume party as Susie Carmichael from Rugrats, and it was a group costume. And I remember seeing that and being like, oh my god, like, you don't have to like store buy a costume, like I can just make this. And then one year she was Carmen Sandiego, which that costume slayed. One year she was a sexy mummy. I was like, you are literally my idol. Like, oh my god, like, girl. And so she's the one that inspired that for me to just kind of like dig into my costumes in that way. I mean, it's just devastating. It's really devastating. That's the last person that I thought I would hear and that I wanted to hear, you know. I don't want to hear this about anybody, but like, it just seems so random and such a kick in the pants from 2020. Like, and this whole time I just think about her family, because I remember her saying that she was on some interview. I don't remember what interview it was. And this was a long time ago when I heard this. She was saying, you know, yeah, I'm an actress, I sing, yada, yada, yada. And whoever was interviewing her was like, wow, do you have any siblings? And she was like, yeah, I have a brother and a sister. And the interviewer was like, wow, your mom must be like really proud of you, and like, do your siblings ever get jealous because they're not famous? And she was like, actually, my sister's a model and my brother is a professional football player. Her brother is Michael Rivera. He used to play on the Raiders. I don't know where he plays now. But when she said her sister was a model, I was like, oh, that's cute. Like, she's probably like a lesser known model. Her sister is Michaela Rivera, and she's shot with people like, what is that girl with the, she has that like really sharp face, but she has those round cheekbones. I think her name is Chantel Jeffries. I think that's her name, but she's like pictured with like huge big name models. Like, she's a model. I was like, oh. And so I just wonder, like, her family, like, what are they thinking? And especially reading her book, how close she is with her family, especially her mom. Like, just being a mom and having to like bury your child, that must be like the worst feeling, like, on planet Earth. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing. And like, I just hate that this happened. Like, and honestly, like, I'm at a loss for words. And you guys know I chat. This is chatting with Alexia. Like, I usually have words. It just, and I swear, you guys, I wanted to talk about anything else today, like anything else, but this is on my mind. And I told myself, I was like, this is your, like, you know, this is your thing, like your therapeutic, like if you feel like you need to get something out, get it out. And it just makes me wonder, like wow, like life really is so short. Like I know that's like cheesy, but like legit, I could walk out of here and die, and like my family would watch this back and be like, oh my god, she said she could walk out of here and die, and then she died. Like life is just so crazy. I don't even know what else to say about it. And then today I woke up and there's like 3 new people that died. None of them I was like particularly like invested in like while they were alive, but like not Tom Hanks. John Travolta's wife died from breast cancer. Lisa Marie Presley, her son committed suicide. Like what's going on? Do you know something else interesting I found out about Naya Rivera? She used to date Taj Mowry. Do you know Tia and Tamara, their brother Taj? They used to date. In the book, it seems like they were dating in like their teen years, like early teens. I didn't know until he posted that they dated, because the book came in after he made this post. But he posted on Instagram, he was like, yeah, no one will ever compare to you, and I never stopped loving you, and I was just praying for the day that God brought us back together. And I was like, oh, well, that's really nice. Like that's sweet. Like if I was like Taj Mowry's ex-girlfriend, I'd be like, I mean, fuck my drag then, right? But like as a viewer, like reading it, I was like, okay, this is nice. And then I read her book, and when she talks about Taj Mowry, she literally says he dumped her because he needed to date someone on his financial level. Y'all, if that ain't a dick. She said we're still friends, like in the book she's like, we're still friends. I'm like, Taj, you. So y'all know usually I do my lips with a brown lip liner, but I've started using my plum lip liner, and ooh, I like it. I like it. This is a really short one today. This is really short, and I apologize, but I didn't know what else to talk about because this is all that's been on my mind, and I didn't want to drag it out because we still don't know what happened to her. Like I could come on the vlog on Sunday and be like, oh my god, they found her and she's alive and healthy. Like we don't know. So I just ask that, you know, if you believe in the power of prayer, like pray for Naya Rivera, her family, her son, and if you just believe in like positive thoughts, I keep her in your thoughts. Like, you know, we just like this year has done a doozy on a lot of us, and I'm at this point, can we just fast forward to 2021? Can we please? All right, remember, you're a doll, shepherds are led by the stars. I'll see you in my next